Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about an update on the cost cap, as well as what's happened since Red Bull got its penalty in Austin. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on X at James's Pit Lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with Red Bull, and as we know, Max Verstappen won the last race in the United States, but following the Grand Prix, Red Bull were summoned to the stewards, and following a post-race investigation, Red Bull were fined €50,000, of which €25,000 were suspended. Now, the reason for the fine was because a crew member attempted to access the grid during the formation lap, and the purpose of the visit was to remove a strip of tape that was left by McLaren to help Lando Norris get as far forward in his grid slot as possible. Now, speaking about it in Mexico, Norris revealed that there are times he doesn't even use that tape, and also revealed that Red Bull have attempted to remove it at previous Grand Prix as well, with Norris saying, as quoted by the race, "I used it for a little while, and they tried to remove it already, I think in Monza and a couple of other places. So that's why we kind of make it like the F1 car park passes, that you can never get out of the window ever, like that. It was amusing to kind of try to see them taking it off, and it not going to plan. I'll continue to use it. Sometimes I'd never use it at all, because it's almost too far away, sometimes I do." Now, just to clarify, there are no rules against adding markers to trackside furniture, and there's also no rules against removing them either. And Red Bull's fine was for its crew member ignoring the instructions of marshals who are trying to close the gate in the pit wall. Now, as Norris revealed, this isn't the first time it's happened, and the race has revealed some of the things that have happened that we haven't seen. The race said it's understood that some of the tactics McLaren employed to make it harder for Red Bull to remove the tape included cutting it into long vertical strips so it could not be removed in one go, and leaving a mechanic on the grid in front of the tape until very late, with Red Bull doing the same to try to remove it anyway. At one stage, McLaren also put 2 layers of tape on the wall in case the top one did get quickly removed, with the second layer reading "better luck next time." So a few games going on there between Red Bull and McLaren, and Norris has also said that he found it extra amusing that Red Bull were fined for what happened in Austin, with him going on to say, as quoted by the race, "We just put it there in case, so it made it extra funny because they got a penalty for it and I didn't even need it. They also tried to remove it and failed because we made it special, so they couldn't even take it off. So it was just amusing little side quests, I guess, for other teams to entertain themselves. We were always laughing about it." But it looks like from this weekend, Red Bull will stop trying to take the tape off that McLaren puts down, with the race saying that it understands that McLaren and Red Bull team bosses Andrea Stella and Laurent Mekies have discussed the matter this week, with the publication going on to say Stella and Mekies are both understood to be keen that a line is drawn under it before it escalates or becomes a distraction. But let's move on to the cost cap. As we know, this was introduced in 2021 and limits the amount of money a team can spend in a season. Now, there is a deadline of March 31st for teams to submit their cost cap submissions, and the FIA reviews them and usually posts its findings shortly after the summer break. Basically, when all 10 teams have found to be in compliance with the regulations, the FIA issues its compliance certificates around the same time, and in 2023 it came on September 5th, while last year it was on September 11th, and the only time things got delayed was in 2022, when it was found that Red Bull and Aston Martin had breached the cost cap, and as a result, extra time was needed for the FIA to conduct extra analysis of those teams' submissions, and an announcement confirming the all clear for the other 8 teams, plus the 2 breaches, was made on October 10th. However, we're now in a position where we're nearly getting into November, and nothing has been said about the cost cap, and the race reported that a delay in the FIA handing out compliance certificates to teams so far has pointed towards the governing body probing issues with submissions for last season. And the race also report that Aston Martin has been one of those teams involved, with it saying, while it's understood that motor racing's governing body has not yet concluded its review process with all competitors, Aston Martin on Thursday revealed that it has already signed off on an accepted breach agreement. Sources have suggested that the Aston Martin situation revolved around a signature being absent from the fully audited documents that had been submitted to the FIA before the March 31st deadline last year. It's understood that this was due to circumstances beyond its control, and once it could get the right signature in place, it then refiled the paperwork. While Aston Martin kept the FIA fully informed of the situation and its cost cap submissions were below the spending limit, the lack of the signature meant it was still guilty of a procedural breach. However, in light of the circumstances and events being outside of Aston Martin's control, the race report that it's understood that no penalty has been handed down beyond costs, and that Aston Martin's situation is unlikely to be made official until the FIA makes a formal announcement about its conclusions from all 10 teams regarding their cost cap submissions for last year. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.